Peace, peace, y'all. Peace and blessings, y'all.
It don't take that long to prove a fake Christ to be false.
Y'all see the topic, nobody can teach the Bible except Christ. If y'all have any questions, feel free to come up.
My brother, man, broke the record on with Tony Braxton. When he came up and asked, who them people behind the humble brother.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, man. Y'all come on in, let's talk about it. We ain't got long today, y'all, so y'all come on in for about an hour. Come chat with us. Oh, come on in, y'all. Come on in.
We're not using God for clout. We're explaining what we're doing, which is judging the Roman Catholic Church. They're the ones using God for clout, God for control.
Man, our people so ignorant, man. Our people are so ignorant. And that's why, you got to look at people when they say black people always pointing the finger, man. We got some ignorant people, man. I ain't even lie to you. That's why I say you understand. Like, when I first picked up the Bible, I didn't know our forefathers rejected Moses. I thought our forefathers accepted Moses. But how ignorant it is to see a man do all those miracles and then turn around and say he crazy. He got you out of Egypt, but he crazy. That's called ignorant. That's called stiff-necked. That's what the scriptures say we are. We are hard-headed, hard of hearing. It say an ox knows his owner. Israel, they don't even consider. They ain't even consider Moses got him out of Egypt. Well, we called him crazy, but that's just consider he got us out of Egypt. So I let you know, even if I did a miracle, you still wouldn't believe. Christ did miracles, they didn't believe. So you want a miracle so bad, but you still not gonna believe.
The miracle is understanding the truth, because everyone doesn't understand the truth. That's the miracle. It's not something that, that's in your imagination, that's on television, that's made up. They made fairy tales, they made movies for you to listen to and watch. So you will believe that will happen to you. So you won't connect to reality. So now y'all coming at us as if you actually seen it happen when you haven't, and you can't show that you have it. You don't have miracles. Christ didn't give you any miracles to work on other people. You know, they say what they say about pastors, like pastors
Lay hands on them.
and they lay hands,
They lay hands on the sick.
and they, you know,
But
expose the devils.
everybody in church got cancer. Everybody in church got high blood pressure. The same people who the pastor lay hands on got high blood pressure. Why? Because it's artificial intelligence. You know, and like I say, y'all, it's just, man, like Babylon, I don't know, like I said, it's been, you know, and I know Babylon time is up. But man, for us to really, y'all, just go into a good place, go into stand on solid ground, give a good foundation, y'all. Everything you was told, you must throw it out. What is doing that? Everything you told, you must throw it out. And I think that's where we lack it. We lack understanding what it means to throw everything out. Now, to throw everything out, you gotta what? You gotta get rid of your bread. What is your bread? Your defiled information. Your bread is your defiled information. It's the food for thought. That's the bread you gotta put out your house. And if you don't put that bread out, you can't get what? The bread from heaven. Because you filled up with what? The bread with yeast. And see, this was a law. This is how you come. This is how you worship God feast days. You can't worship God feast days with your house full of bread. So what was commanded by Moses in the law? And see, this is why the Hebrews are babbling. They tell people to get rid of the bread with yeast as if God's bread come from the stove. I asked the leader of the camp, I say, can you bake God bread? He said, yeah, they was baking God bread. Well, let me here to tell you, man, you cannot bake God bread. And you can't burn God bread. You can't leave God in the bread in the oven too long and then burn. You can't do that. Just like you can't even put the scribes and Pharisees bread in the oven. So these are people that's leaning to their own understanding, trying to give understanding, but at the same time, they lack understanding. So what do you call that? The blind leading the what? Blind. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a generation that has blind leaders. Just like one is in the comments, let me up, let me up. You'll hear another blind leader. You know, people talk about things they know nothing about. Everybody got the Bible. They mean, and see, this is the thing, this is the I try to tell people. If the Bible anointed you, then the Bible should anoint everybody. Why the Bible anointed you? And when did someone ever get anointed by a book? When did any prophet go to school to learn about God? So when you deal with 85, 95% of your pastors, you're dealing with people who have went to school to teach you about God. Come on, y'all. Let's be serious. Let's be serious. Because they say the prophets was moved by the Spirit. That's what the book say. The prophets was moved by the Spirit to prophesy. They wasn't moved by education and scriptures and letters. You know, like I said, and that's just what we're dealing with, y'all. Like I said, we gotta understand that, you know, that's not the will. That's not the will of God, and that ain't the way God operates. God never did it that way. Still trying to come up. He begging to come up, man. And like y'all have been up here multiple times, man. We done had conversations with y'all. Y'all make no sense. And like I said, we deal with principles. That's why I never switched up. Because the principle matter that I'm standing on, I have to stand on it. See, a lot of people talking, they cut themselves. They like kids playing with a sharp knife and they don't know what they're playing with, so they cut themselves. Because they say God's word is the sharpest thing known to man. So when they trying to speak it, they cut themselves.
Hey, appreciate y'all for having me up here, bro. I didn't know if I was going to make the cut or not. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. What's going on?
Facts. Yeah. I be seeing this prompt a lot and I like to make it clear, Jesus never saw a Bible. It's like, if that's what you're referring to when you say Christ, like the Bible wasn't actually published, or the first Bible didn't come out till like 100 years after
Hey,
Jesus.
look. Why was he given the scroll of Isaiah?
Huh? I don't know. That don't got like the scroll of Isaiah. So I mean, the Bible, Isaiah is one of the books in the Bible, as is the Torah, right? The Torah existed before the Bible, but like that, like the whole compilation of the Bible and things like that, the whole thing never came out until after the crucifixion of Jesus, about 100 years post of that. Uh,
Well,
so
that's why we revealed that Christ never came. The Christ story is for the last days. That's the Bible reveals. That's what's written in the scriptures. Christ come in the last days. Now the colonizers changed time and laws. This is what the colonizers did. And by them changing time, since we are in the last days, just as the book says, can't nobody recognize Christ because they worship idols.
I can agree with that, because I'll be sitting here doing what I do while people be talking in my face. Because I'll be telling people all the time, bro, like God, existence, life, the universe, Allah, whatever name that you want to call, pops, even whatever name that you say, like reality, existence is the actual like true teacher of existence, because existence been around longer than anything else has existed. The problem is like, because of indoctrination and combat and all of that things, a lot of people don't really know how to interact with existence or God or the universe in a way that is real, because everyone has been given fabricated stories, or has been given fabricated viewpoints, or colonized viewpoints on who God is or what God is. So whenever you like actually figure out how to communicate with existence or God or whatever name helps people sleep at night, you kind of become a threat and dangerous, because you start to exist in a world that's no longer controlled by the people who would like to have control over the world, right? But
It's almost like the Matrix. You come out of the Matrix, but to come out the Matrix and say you out the Matrix is two different things.
right.
You see what I'm
And
saying? Anybody can say it, but only few actually find it, and that's that narrow path that leads to life. Because we know this world is not producing life. They're not trying to make you intelligent. They're not trying to help you understand life.
yeah.
They trying to actually stop life, shorten life, and help you do it.
Yeah. And the problem with humanity too is like, so many people put their faith and trust into humanity, but it's like humanity is not even considered like cosmic infants, right? So to follow humans and what humans think is going on, or even about God, like 200 years ago, in humanity's eyes, they knew for a fact that they were burning witches in Salem. They was just burning random females. But like, if you ask they scholars, they was burning witches in the 1800s. Like 12 years ago, according to humanity, all of existence was going to end because the Mayans, some random stone civilization within humanity, decided to stop marking on a stone tablet. So humanity knew, we're so special and important that if we stop doing this, then God himself, or God itself, God is going to stop, because God is existence, right? So existence itself is going to end at this point, because we decided to stop marking on these. So it's like, if you try to understand life or understand anything following a human perspective, you're gonna live in a world of delusion or idiocracy or stupidity, because humans are just stupid. Like, there's no other way around it, right?
That's why I say many are called, few are chosen. So that's a prime example to see how that's a logical thing of what you're saying, and that's a logical way of looking at it. And it's really that they not stupid. That's why they call them sheep. Everybody's not a leader. And being a follower, a lot of people think that's weak, but everybody is born a follower. But everybody don't become a leader. See, the lead. That's why the leader supposed to everything. If he gonna be a leader, he's supposed to be a leader for the followers, because he was once a what? Follower. And see, these principles of life is how it's really was being brought back to this generation. That's what you get into the Moses story. Like, who was the most humble one? Moses was the most humble one of them all. That's why he can be what? A leader. And see, a lot of people in this world, we think, I'm not a follower. Everybody a king. Everybody a leader. Well, that's not true. That's not even a principle in life. That's not even a principle in your body. Every body part is not a leader. Every person is not a leader. You have born leaders, then you're gonna have followers, which what everybody was at one time.
And the crazy thing is too is it's like history is very selective on who history allows to make it through history, as well as like maybe some things have gotten burned. So we say Moses was the most humble, but there could have very well been individuals in that time period who were more important or more humble than Moses, but that's just who history decided to keep because Moses was Jewish and like Moses helped with that and Jewish people had a lot of power at that. There's probably a lot of great leaders throughout history that we don't even know about. Right, and like people who may have been better. Yeah, I was about to say like Malcolm X. Malcolm X was like came after.
Well, see, Malcolm X is more of a colonized. Everybody that came after Marcus Garvey was built up by the CIA. That's why most of our leaders they try to leave the organizations that raised them.
Nip Hustle.
From the two greatest leaders that we understand, which are the ones they lifted up, which is Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Yeah. These were still babes in their walk. It's a lot of stuff that they didn't find out. So when the government lifted them up, they was playing with the information that the government wanted us to attach ourselves to.
Yeah, I think
they knew that wasn't the information to get us out. And see, this is what Cat Williams said. They told the lie. We didn't. We was born into the lie. So since they told the lie, they understand the lie way better than us. That's why we still looking for it.
I have a really deep understanding of both the Bible and the Quran. And I'll tell people right now that like, if I had to choose between following anybody outside of the Bible, that's not God, because God is God, right? If I had to choose somebody else that wasn't God, or I'm not choosing, like I would choose like someone like Nip Hustle, to be honest. Like he's not no biblical figure or nothing like that. But like Nip Hustle is they feared Nip for the very reason of like bro was moved very cordially, but also knew the truth and wasn't like, I don't see people like that in the Bible, right? Like I look at the Bible and the Bible, like we take on traits of who we follow, right? I think that's why America wants us all to be Jesus Christ so they can punch us and we let them punch us 2 times and 3 times and 4 times. Or they say, hey, we're going to make you carry your cross. You should have fun carrying it like Jesus did. And like they also tell us like, hey, if you have a friend who's going to betray you or who's not going to treat you right, keep loving them and forgiving them like he did with Peter. But it's like you also look at the Bible. God don't display that behavior. If you betray God, God don't say you get to be my friend again. God say you go to hell, right? God say you're not about to play with me. I'm going to send floods.
That's the and see, like I say, that's the colonized information because that's not the true story of Christ, and I definitely understand that. But that's why we on here sharing the truth about these things. Like every priest in the Bible, every saint was a part of the Christ. You know what I'm saying? Every saint was a part of a military. Yeah. And see, this is what they don't tell us. That's why they give us a fabricated history. Like the biblical stories are mainly allegory. They are they have a secret meaning behind these stories. Yeah. These are not historical stories, but the real history that the book is connected to is to these people, but nobody know these people. So, and see, so we show this history and we connect the dots to help people see the real story rather than a fabricated story. As you said, it make you think, yeah, you got to turn the other cheek. That turn the other cheek was not about a physical slap. Turn the other cheek had to do with information. Because right now we're in a rap battle. So with our brothers, when they talk to us crazy, we can't talk back crazy to them. Because what? You're not turning the other cheek, because that's not how you be in your higher self, and that's not how you set the example for the next man. Because if you gonna slap him like he slapped you, not physically, but with the words, then you showing him you ain't no better than him. Yeah, so it's no example being set. So if we gonna be the big brother, if we gonna be the priest, if we gonna be those leaders, then we just set the example. So that's what it means when turn the other cheek. And that's why the Bible say it's not warring with flesh and blood. But all these men was flesh and blood warriors. They wasn't people who, all of them carried weapons. You see what I'm saying? So even when you deal with the Bible, even when you deal with the book and who the book is really connected to, it was never people that just, did these things. That's why the Bible talk about war so much. But the war is not, again, physical. is spiritual, which is with words.
Not only that, the Bible and how it's written and interpreted by men, it backs up the structures of the people who push the Bible onto you, right? If you say, hey, we got a better way of life, people will literally use the Bible to say, no, but the Bible say this, right? Which is why, like, it's something that's pushed very heavily in colonized America today, because it backs up the structures that they want and need people to live under in order for them to pretend or maintain the illusion that they are the leaders or that they're on top of people. So when it's like, bro, I could outspeak and outlead and outdo your best and brightest on any given Sunday, just or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just by waking up, right? And there's a lot of people who can, but because of the power that they've been able to control over people's mental spaces and everything else, a lot of people think that political power or what Uncle Sam says is the truth, because when they snatched us off of the streets from our freedom and forced us into their education camps, that's the indoctrination that so many people received.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And that's why I say, man, you know, the parable of the Bible is simply they're gonna be cut with their own sword. Because we have built a council using the Bible that prove everything any man ever said is a lie, according to the Roman Catholic Church, because the Roman Catholic Church majesty comes from the Bible. They say Peter, they got their information from Peter. So when you really go into the biblical text, the time that's in the Bible is not 70 AD and 2,000 years ago. The time that's in the Bible is the last days. You know, so this is how we're going to take Goliath's sword and cut the head off with his own sword. So the Bible is that sword that's going to cut them with the own sword that they have cut us and destroyed us with. And see, we don't take that approach. A lot of people, like you said, are indoctrinated through the education system, because the biblical teachings is the education system right now. And it's the same education from the people who control the world. So they want us to think this way. You know, but like I said, the prophecy and the vision is real. Goliath, which is the giant, because right now in the system is the giant. And when you go to court, when you go to the Supreme Court, when you go all the way up to the Parliament, when you go to the British Empire, all this stuff is set up just like the Bible.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be their own sword that cut them in half. You know, and that's how their kingdom is gonna be destroyed. And that's what we have right now. We have this judgment against the Roman Catholic Church. But people don't understand, like right now, if we go judge the Roman Catholic Church and we get jurisdiction of all this land, who they gonna give it to? They have to give it to another government that's ready to establish positions, people, and then you gotta have a council. Like you cannot start a government without a council, which is the principles, morals, and liberty you're gonna stand on for the people in pursuit of happiness. You have to have these things. And see, this is what we don't understand about how everything is finna switch and why the end is a new beginning. But see, we all caught up with what television, conspiracies, all this stuff that kind of fear us, when simply it just finna be a new world order, which is what? The order of Melchizedek. We wasn't really taught about the order of Melchizedek, but all these things that's in the book, if we know about them, they can be tools to fix our problem and not tools to create a religion. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of people think the Bible is written for you to think this way. No, they use the Bible as a tool to make you think this way. Just as we can use the Bible as a tool to change our people's minds, because it don't say what they told us. And that's why they told us a lot of stuff before we read it.
The crazy thing is when you change people's minds and you do it in a truthful way, that makes you a threat. So they have like channels and ways set up to they can't really publicly crucify people physically anymore, so they do it mentally, like Hove or even Ye, right? Ye is one of the most powerful and influential people in America, perhaps on the planet. And the moment that he realized that and started calling himself a king, right, which is probably one of the only titles that could fit based off of how the political structures are set up, they've been running this huge smear campaign of he's mentally crazy. And he's like, anytime you exist on a spectrum that is different from the spectrum that the governing bodies would allow for you or want for you to exist on, they begin to tell the public that you may be autistic or on a whole different spectrum, because they want you to exist on the spectrum that they have control over. The moment that you figure out a better route. They have all of these ways to defame you, to defame your character. You guys yourselves may have even gone through it because you guys are what they would call quote unquote woke, right? But they've even begun to paint a bad picture around the world woke because people who see the world from a more realistic perspective are dangerous. That makes you dangerous, right? You're not allowed to think for yourselves or to use your mind. Like literally thinking for yourselves in real life is a crime. If you think away from what your government allows, like smoking marijuana in many parts of America is thinking for yourselves. You're thinking something different than what your government wants you to think. Now you're a criminal, right? And because they raised the majority of the nation, even people who didn't go to school, like on television and in books and in media, there's an implicit bias. There's an implicit bias that many people carry simply because Uncle Sam and Hollywood and all of these people have been pushing the American dream, right?
Yeah,
so if you,
that's what, and
if
that's
you
why our leaders was set up by the government. You know,
yeah,
that's
if you the moment you wake up, right? That's why like the moment you wake up, you're no longer really living in the American dream anymore because the American dream is about like complete and total like domination, power, and control. Like
capitalism.
many
Like
people,
American dream is number capitalism.
yeah, that's like everybody. That's why they tell you to chase your dreams because they love it when you're asleep. Like chase your dreams. Like you only dream when you sleep. Like the moment that you. But the thing is like so many people are in a sleep state mentally, right, to where they just follow everything that they've been given. Which is why whenever you look at Star Wars, I'll use this as a parallel example. Whenever somebody wakes up from the Force or awakens the Force, everybody with power knows and they automatically recognize it's similar in America, right? The moment that you begin to think for yourself, the people who have power and control, they notice it before you may even notice it because you don't look at them the same way or you feel different than the general public. There's something about the way that you feel and the frequency, if you, for lack of a better term, there's something about you that changes that they recognize because they're used to maintaining so much power and control. It's almost as if you're a parent, right? If you're a parent, you start to notice when one of your kids isn't looking at you the same way, or whenever one of your pets may not be looking at you the same way. That's how much power and control they have over the general population. They notice these things before you even do, and they set things in motion to try to stop it.
And that's why, man, right now we have to focus on the solution, especially this generation, because we have all the information we need right now. We just have to organize the information. See, what's going on right now, we have to get in a certain order that will form a government for our own self. So we no longer have to deal with this government. Like when you deal with life, you always got a government. You got governing stars. So it's saying you got government and animals. Animals got a hierarchy. Even animals get in the order. So to say humans cannot form an order, and right now, and see, that's why I say that goes back to the prophecy that they have whitewashed and watered down. But we are in the waters no matter what because they put us in the waters. That's why they call it the law at sea. No matter what, we in the waters. Everybody knows about Jesus. Majority of our people that went to church, majority of our backgrounds come from believing in Jesus. So in order to get our people out as in a whole, as a water, they go to Ark of the Covenant. So we have put together solutions to fix all the problems that you talk about. And a lot of people who like yourself who enlightened about them and not really afraid to speak up, we think we become a target when we don't really become a target. We form a government. Our job is to form a government. Our job is not to just have one leader like Martin Luther King and we all go march with him. Or Farrakhan, we all go, shit, they had Farrakhan had a man march, then they all went back home and the system stayed the same. But see, if these very few, because it's going to be few, because it don't take that many to create a government. It don't take all black people to create a government. It don't take that. It take a few of us to create a government for the many people who need it. And then they'll come. And that's when we will unite. Because just like all religions right now is under the system of the British Empire. I don't give a damn what religion you're in. Whether you're a Moor, Muslim, Christian, you under the British Empire. You under their government. You spending their money. You see what I'm saying? So at the same time, it's when you come to a different level, you know how to use the tools that's been put in front of us. This is why they made us not understand that they was tools. They make us think these are religious books when these are just tools. And very few people know how to use the tool to what? Get our people out of the water, because no matter what, our people are in these books. That's the water. And like I say, they go that Ark of the Covenant, Christ of fishermen of men. This is what the scripture tell you. So you can't, these things you can't deny. Well, he a fisherman of men. Well, why he a fisherman of men? Because our people are drowning in information. Who gonna get us out of the information? The rod, the fishing rod. Christ gonna strike the earth with the rod of his mouth. So it's a lot of things, man, that really line up, and they want us to push away, because we are the intelligent generation. We are the generation that our forefathers wrote about. They don't want us to know this. They want us to think Jesus came in a generation 2,000 years ago. So that's the disconnection when it comes to a lot of what's going on. And again, a lot of us know the problem, but we haven't figured out the solutions. So even our leaders didn't figure out the solution. But right now we have a solution on the table. And again, the saints don't judge the world. It never said the saints gonna read scriptures and teach the Bible. That's the devil's work, teaching the Bible. But the saints, it tell you they gonna take the kingdom back. Why they gonna take the kingdom back? Because why? They have an order that will overthrow the Pope, which is the Roman Catholic Church, which is the British Empire. And many other nations are in cahoots with the British Empire, even when they go all the way down to the African leaders. That's why.
You said this twice, and I want to hit on it because I agree with you heavy. It's something that I've been bringing up recently about the British Empire, right? Like even with America, right? Because there's certain things that I just can't ignore, right? So America's whole thing was, hey, yo, we're coming over here to escape the British Empire. Ain't no kings and queens. But fast forward to this day, if that's the whole thing, like, because America will disrespect anybody, why do they still call Charles king?
Because they're still under the Roman Catholic Church.
That let you know. That let you know who they still under. That's all it's saying. Like, we have heard these things, but like I say, once you look at reality, it don't make sense. Why the hell is that? Yeah, why is Charles king? Why was Elizabeth queen? Why are we looking up to the Pope? You see what I'm saying? If America is separated from the British Empire, no. All the islands, all these people are in cahoots with the British Empire. Even Africa.
Yeah, or even if it's not cahoots, it's the power because like when you have that ability level of power, it's so and you don't want people to know, right? Because it would be very easy during the time of kings and queens in Britain when they started rising up. It'd be very easy for me to protect my family's legacy and say, hey, yo, we're going to put out a story to the public, but this is really what's going to go down. We're going to create something called the Parliament, and we're going to tell the public that you guys have all the power, but we're still going to be the kings and queens in real life. So everyone who we appoint, we're going to appoint from our own camp, but you guys are still going to answer to us. That way, our lives will no longer be at risk because the people don't think we have the power. And it's like what they don't know won't hurt them, but we still have all the power, which is why you guys are all still going to refer to us as the royal family.
There you go. Well said. And that's basically what they did. And that's why we have a judgment against them, because a lot of us trying to fight the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court working for a higher power. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, if you don't understand this because of the way they told the story, you're not gonna know who your enemy is. It's like what would be the best way to say it? You mad at the how somebody say, I'm just doing my job. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you really can't get mad at the police. You can, but the police are being told to do a lot of things they do. If they don't, they lose their job.
And that's a lot of power to have, to where like people's lives revolve so heavily around humanity and the structures of humanity that a lot of people don't even know how to begin to escape, because it's like if you try to, that's your existence that is now at stake, or the existence of others who you may have brought into the world, right? So it's like when we find people who have managed to finagle themselves outside of the structures of humanity and men, if we really all want to get out, we should probably shine lights on these people. Like, yo, show us how you, instead of attacking them, right? Like, because there's still a choice that comes. Like, you can still use your own discretion, but like the amount of power and control that is held over the general population is so deep, most people can't even recognize it because they've been lulled to sleep by the education system and by television. And it's like there's a hive mind to where like the slavery that exists today is viewed as normal because they painted a worse picture of slavery in the past that is no longer in that same capacity. But it's, I mean, you got people say that like we're making, no, you're still picking cotton. Like dollars is still cotton, but it's like it's not just people of color at this point. It's those without power. Like, was it Nixon who said, if you convince the lowest white man, YT man for TikTok, right? They even control our speech that crazy, right? If you can make him think that he's better than the best colored man, he'll never notice you're picking his pockets, right? Because they have to not only keep like people of color under control, but they have to keep people who look like them under control as well. And the best way to do that is to give them somebody to look down upon,
Yeah.
which and to keep people fighting. And a lot of people can't really see the level of control that's held over them. Like most of your lives revolve around Eurocentric rules and values, and your ideas of success even come from European people. If you don't have $1 million in your bank account, you would consider yourself to be unsuccessful. But you know who doesn't have $1 million in their bank account and is the most successful creature of all time? God. Because God's life doesn't revolve around the structures that have been created by humanity. Only humans do. Right? And once you're able to see that and rationalize that and do it in a way that is coherent, logical, and undeniably true, you become too powerful.
Yeah,
And that's
why I say, man, you know, at the end of the day, everything you said was 100, but it's just, you got to have that solution. And that solution is a government. It's not to bring, you know, individuals out. It's to really make a plan where the door is open for all. And see, that's what God will do. And that's what the prophecy is surrounded around. But again, they just took the prophecy, changed time, changed laws. They put it on motion picture, as you said, television, you know, and gave us artificial intelligence. When it comes to what God is doing, and because we want so much artificial intelligence, we want a man on the cloud. We want to talk to our ancestors. We want, like you said, we want to live in a dream. All that's artificial. That's not real. And when you want that, when God come actually doing something that's principle, logic, order, nobody accept it because they're not seeing a miracle. They're not seeing the sky crack. That, like when we lost everything, the sky didn't crack. And, you know, and didn't nobody come from the sky to take anything from us. Didn't nobody come in the sky to get a Roman Catholic Church power. But we won't, like I said, they have brainwashed us to believe something gonna come out of the sky to give us power to do something back. And then they have put us in so much fear, we won't even stand up no more because, like I said, most people think we're going to be a target. But the solution was always to start a government. But you can't start a government if you don't have order. And that's one thing we can say, the Roman Catholic Church got order. And many people keep that order. But when it comes to God order, we never wanted to keep it. You know, so that's really what this generation is being waking up to, man. Like I say, we got the solution, bro. Like I say, you understand a lot, but only thing we missing, man, is the solution. And the solution is gonna wake Lazarus up. Because to be awakened and to get out your bed is two different things. So this is an awakened generation, but very few have got out the bed. You know how you could be woke and you'll roll over and you'll grab your phone, you'll lay in bed another what? 3-4 more hours. You see what I'm saying? And that's what people are doing. Like, we are woke, but we ain't really got out of our bed. That's why we don't have no movement. Because, and see, that's why I say the solution, we got a judgment on the table. We are judging the Roman Catholic Church. And we're just not judging them with guns in our hands. No, we got the sharpest sword known to man. So we could bring them to court. The case is settled. And they can't even get rid of us. Because the case is out. Like, you can only lie for so long. So when the truth is out, it's no such thing as telling the truth and it get buried. That's why the gospel was going to be preached to the whole world. And then the end will come, according to writings. But why? Because the gospel would be the truth. The gospel wouldn't be the Bible. It would be the truth. And that truth will what? Create the end and the new beginning. And that's what's going on. An end of the Roman Catholic Church Empire is finna end. And if you have a whole new beginning of what? The African Empire that will heal the world, which is what we call Mother Africa.
And you actually brought up the solution multiple times, and I'll tell what it is. Like you said, change time, right? Time is so important because how you spend time is what gets created, right? The whole reason that the world looks like this is because this is a conglomerate of time spent willingly by the people who wanted the world to look like this, and time spent unwillingly by the people who have just been spending their time the way that they've been told to. A lot of people spend their time worshiping America. A lot of people spend their time doing what Uncle Sam wants. A lot of people spend their time in a way that they have been governed into spending their time. So whenever people come along who show people better ways to spend their time, hey, don't spend your time respecting the structures built by humanity. Don't spend your time believing everything that your governments give you, right? Once we start changing how we spend our time, we now time ourselves out of the structures that have been created, right? Like that's the solution. One of the major solutions is we have to change the way that we spend our time. We can't continue to give. Yeah, you got it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're right. And the only way to do that is the government. Because most people have the way the economy is set up and the way the economic system is set up, they got your time at your job because you're not gonna be able to get nothing. You got the light bill high, you got the water bill high, they raising groceries. If you got kids, they gotta eat. They want nice things. Psychological, you send them to school, they don't have nice things. That's another psychological effect. So people are backs are against the wall even when it come to time. Unless the government change the economic system. And we know they're not gonna change that. Look at what they're doing, they're raising it up. And then they're giving us food with poison in it that's banned in most of the countries around the world. And this way up. You see what I'm saying? So we paying for stuff that's fake. At the same time, it's harming us. And it's priced at top shelf. So again, that goes back to the government. If we don't set up a government, people will never have time to change. Unless you don't have kids, unless you ain't bought no house. You see what I'm saying? Or you have inherited something. But if you ain't done that, if you got kids and you got a house, you got a wife, man, you're not your time gonna have to go to a job.
Maybe that's why they push it so much, because they know you might get stuck in those things. So it makes it more difficult. You also brought up artificial intelligence, and I want to give you guys a slightly different way to view artificial intelligence, right? Because the information that you carry is your intelligence, and so much of the information that exists now is artificial, right? So most people, when I look at them and speak to them, I don't feel as if I'm speaking to a fully autonomous being. I'm speaking to artificial intelligence because they've been programmed with the information that their governing bodies have given them. I can have a conversation with 30 different people, right? But the conversation will go the exact same way, maybe 28 out of 30 times, because I'm not speaking to an individual. I'm speaking to what raised them. I'm speaking to the books that were forced down their throat, to where many people are programmed and it's so easy to reprogram these people. All you have to do is you got to change the code, right? Or what we call laws, right? Artificial intelligence one day disagrees with marijuana. All I got to do is is change their programming, is change their coding, is change a law. Now the artificial intelligence is okay with marijuana, and it changes the way that it responds to these things, right? So people are just as easily programmed as computers, but because
a computer ain't number to mine.
yeah, and but a lot yeah.
Now, I was just gonna say, like, it's, when we talk about solutions, we're talking about the government, and the government is not everyone. So we know everyone is not gonna get this understanding as we have. So it's really about collecting the few that's gonna be a part of the government that will change the people, mindset on things and how they, live their day-to-day life with their government now, and comparing it to how we can overthrow it and create our own that's by us, for us. So we could talk about the problems all day, but like you said, the time is what's important. So we need to focus on conversations that connect to the solutions, not just keep repeating the problem.
That's fair. A part of like the repetition, problems are easier to solve when you can see them. So I'm trying to like throw as much as like what I've come across at you guys, because y'all could probably like put something together. Like I never seen it that way. Next thing you know, like y'all spark what needs to be sparked. It could be that. It could be that simple.
Well, brother, man, that's what I'm saying. That's what we have. We already have something. That's why I kept telling you we got the solution. Right now, we don't have the order form with the leaders. So it's the leaders of our people that's out of order. Because like I said, when you talk about a government, you talking about leading the people. You talking about setting the people free. And see, that's why I always read the scripture, because everybody say they got the spirit. You know, and like I say, I only use this because, like you say, that's what my people are in. They are in the information that the book pushed on them. So the book and the counsels that go behind the book has made everybody believe that Christ came 2,000 years ago, and everybody has the spirit. But if you read, what does the spirit make you do? It make you bring the vengeance of God. It make you proclaim liberty. It make you free the captives. All that sound like what? Either a leader or a government. Because only a government, like right now, if we get reparations, who gonna give it to us? The government. You see what I'm saying? Like if somebody give us liberty, the government gonna do it. If somebody gonna give us justice, the government gonna do it. So all the things that we are trying to get, it has to come from a government.
And the thing is
nobody is talking about this.
yeah,
See, I just want to say that's what the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And see, that's the tree we eating from. Everybody just getting knowledge of this, knowledge of good, knowledge of evil. You know, but that's the tree that was forbidden, that God said don't eat from that tree.
it's not just the reparation of paper, right? Which is what most people are looking for. It's the reparation of time that's really needed, because so much time has been spent telling the world that melanated skin is ignorant, that melanated skin is not smart, that melanated skin is violent. So the time reparations are just as important, if not more important, than the paper reparations, because the melanated skin in America, and maybe even globally, has had to think at a much higher clip just for survival, right? Having to perform 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times harder just to be accepted because of the time that was spent painting a picture of what is a melanated individual.
Yeah, well, like I said, we definitely understand. Yeah, this way bigger than money. Like money ain't like like that's why I say we are starting a new government. You see what I'm saying? Like this is also in the Declaration of Independence. Like we can prove this government has not given us liberty. It has not given us justice. It has not pursued our happiness in no kind of way. It has taken happiness away from us, and it has, how you said, strategically done these things. They have put planned institutions, all this in to systematically make sure we don't get happiness. So we can prove this. Most of everybody can prove this. But when you prove this and you overthrow the government, you have to have something in place to replace the government you overthrow. This is a revolution. And this is why we don't have a revolution, because we don't have a plan of how to fix the problem. And because the tools that was, the tools that was here to fix the problem, they watered it down. They made you think it ain't a tool. They made you think it's a religious book that's going to call a spell on you. You see what I'm saying? So since they done these things, it's hard for us to pick up the tools to do the job, to fix the problem. And when we do pick up the tools, we use it to what? Fix their problems. We don't use it to fix our problems. You see what I'm saying? That's what we have done. So that's why I say I keep going back to the government. We have the plan. We have the plot. We have the strategies. What we don't have is the leaders getting in order.
Yeah, earlier you said it's like we're in a rap battle, right? And I think a large part of that is because it's like you have to be able to out rap whoever it is that you're trying to out rap, right? And the reason I believe that so many people go and fix their problems is because when somebody like yourself comes along and you say, hey, you should probably be doing this, right? They're so used to the genre of music that is Uncle Sam. Right. So like your genre of music is more freeing and more powerful, and you may be out rapping Uncle Sam, but they're tap dancing to that genre of music to where they can't even see that like you are liberating people, bro. Like, so that's another, like, not just out rapping, but like letting them know like, hey, yo, like listen to that genre of music. Like your whole life, like you're placing your whole existence around people who wouldn't care less if like you disappeared off of the face of the earth tomorrow. And it's like you're telling people like, I care enough about you to stand up in front of the world and speak truth and have people question my integrity, have people question my intelligence, have people call me crazy or a heretic, simply because you care more about them than they do themselves. That's powerful, right? But you like it is a rap battle. That's a powerful phrase and expression.
And see that's the war in heaven. But again, it's watered down to think we think angels gonna be having swords with wings fighting in the sky. But the rap battle is not a physical war, it's a spiritual war because food for thought is spiritual. You don't see the food for thought. The food for thought enters your mind by what people say. So you got the counsels of darkness, which is the knowledge of wisdom of good and evil, and then you got the counsel that give life. That's gonna give life to the people, just as a false shepherd leads you to the slaughterhouse. And that's why when I tell people, how can a false shepherd unalive you without touching you? But Christ can't give you life without touching you. It's the same principle, but it's hard for us to reverse it because we lack the understanding. And that's why I tell you the power of life and death is in the tongue. So like all this stuff, man, like it's like a big picture. And that's why, and see, this is what makes these books the tools. Because the picture had already been painted, but not by what? The artist from heaven.
Yeah.
Which is the one that's going to paint a clear picture for the people to see, and not a picture that's going to deceive the people. And that's all they did. So now these things are actually happening, and it's hard for the leaders. That's why the Bible talk about the fallen angels. What did they fall from? Their higher way of thinking. And you don't have no choice but to think like the stuff you'd have been taught, unless you what? You come out of the world, as you said. And be ready to receive something different than what you heard. And like I said, so that's where it comes with our leaders, because a lot of them have did their own research. A lot of them have tested a lot of the teachers, and a lot of them have seemed to be false. And if it sounds anything like the lie, they don't even want to listen to it.
And speaking of good and evil and knowledge of good and evil, so many people's interpretations and depictions of good and evil come from propaganda or the governing bodies. Everybody want to be a superhero, right? Because that's what they push down people. Let's take a quick look at heroes and villains, right? Heroes are people who typically follow the government and exactly what they want, even though they have the power to change it. And villains are people like Lex Luthor who think for themselves, like, hey, yo, I'm not about to let these people take full and total control of me. Or like even people like Ebon from Static Shock, who like aren't like, they're not heretics or nothing. They just recognize the control that like the government is placing over people. And then like a bigger image is like, I recognized this the other day, right? Because people talk about the devil in a very similar tone to how they talk about melanated people. Can't trust them, naturally evil, naturally wicked. But it's like, if you've ever had a conversation with like a melanated individual, you recognize that like we're not what they say, right? So it's like the same thing could be like, you got to take all of the knowledge that they gave and throw it away, because the same thing, like they might just not like the devil because the devil is a being powerful enough that they can't control. But the devil could be a good person, because the same way that, and I mean God too, right? But they don't play with God the same way they play with the devil. They try to get you to look at God as like as a man who came down here who was weak. But both the devil and God exist outside of those governing bodies' control. So they try to shape the way that we view them to where people now fear the devil and now people think God is weak. Right. But we got to approach them ourselves and be like, hey, bro, like the same way that I can't know if a melanated person, and I only say that for like purpose, like they can't know if we're good or bad unless they actually interact with us. But if they prejudge us based off of what their people who have fed them good and evil are, they're going to be stuck under that viewpoint, right? Both of you guys may be more beneficial to have in your lives than any person in the government, but they don't know that because they're approaching us with their knowledge of good and evil based off of their media. It's like, so you got to approach God and the devil as an individual too, and like show no fear and be like, hey, bro, I never met you, but everything they told me about you lines up with what they tell people about me. So we got something in common. Let's have a conversation so I can figure out if you're a good person or not, or if you're a good ally to have on my back. That's how I approach existence in reality.
That's why I said, like I said, and see, those are things that's inside you, and as it's written, the law gonna be written within you. And if you have those principles inside you, God order, and if you call for the work of God, you would always accept the order because of what's inside you. You see what I'm saying? These things don't have to be taught to you. They don't come from a book. And that's why a conversation rules the nation, just as what? The power of life and death is in the tongue. So if the power is in the tongue, that's why also conversation, which comes from the tongue, will rule the nations. That goes back to the gospel, creating the end. So all these things tie into, man, like I said, that's why our awakening. I know I'm not a person that talk. Man, God have made me speak more than I've spoken my whole life. You know, what I've spoken in these last 8 years, you know, it's been more in my whole entire life that I never spoke. So I just know that awakening is here, and like I said, that conversation is here, and we just got to understand the order, form that order, and so we set up our government where we heal our people. You know, those are the steps. That's what we have put together, man, and that's what we're doing, bro. And like I said, if you wanna look into it, they go to the website. If you feel that's your calling, you feel you're a soldier, you know, you can stand up and fight for God. You want to get a little more understanding of what we're doing, that's the website. You can reach out to us, man, and get at us, brother. I appreciate you coming up, sharing your information, man. You know, link in with us. Like I said, if you feel that's your calling.
Yeah, I got that screenshot, bro. I'm gonna tap and I'll probably double back around with y'all, bro.
All right, brother. Peace, man.
Be easy.
And like I say, I heard a lot of people saying, what's the solution? I said the solution 100 times. The government. A government must be started. And you got to have a leader. You got to have a supreme council, a crown council. The crown council is the majesty, which will be the principles of God that the government will stand upon. And it's not principles that's why I say the principles of the Roman Catholic Church Council is Peter. Peter is what they built everything off of, because Christ told Peter, you the stone I'm gonna build my church upon. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, like, this concept, y'all, is just a hocus pocus fairy tale. And now the fairy tale can really be debunked. But many people can debunk the fairy tale, but they didn't have the order.
It's a cunning devised fable.
Cutting devised fable.
Cunning.
You know, so even if you could debunk the fairy tale without the order or without the government, then you can't overthrow it, because you don't have nothing to replace it. Now you got anarchy. Now you got the jungle. We don't want the jungle. You want to go back to no government, no police, whatever go down, you have to handle it. All people ain't ready for that. Whatever go down, you gotta handle it. I mean, somebody come take something from you, you can't call 911. Now ain't no more 911. Ain't no more, hey, he hit me. No. You better have an army. You better have a clique. You better be with a gang. You see what I'm saying? See, that's what so that's why I say a lot of people say, I want to be free. No, you want to be free from the lies. So, like I say, y'all, we don't understand that a government is being created. That's the whole point of the prophecy. The government. Christ comes with the government on his shoulders. Christ comes to build a government. Christ comes to build a government for God. Not for what? The world. My kingdom is not of this world. Ain't been here for a while. Let's see.
Greetings, benevolent people.
Peace.
I'm having a great time watching and listening and hearing it. I'm crying. I got water coming down out the cosmos listening to y'all today. Okay? Oh, glory. This is a beautiful time. Now, I'm not at all going to say anything against you angels, you angelic beings. Okay, let there be light. And the only thing I've been getting is information and light. I've been forming myself to what you've been stating. But here's what I've been trying to speak. Number one, you take your hand and you heal yourself. Hand is man. Man is land. If your hand ain't healing your own land, you ain't no man. Hospital is a house, it's a pit. Like the cat pit, listic system. It's a cat, it's a pit. So you want to get out of the pit. I hear you keep saying you wanted to get out of the pit. You want to get out of the most famous word, which is shit. You want to get out the shit. You want to get out the toilet stool. Okay. Well, we're going to get you out today. We're going to get you out today. You're going to use your own hand, not the government's hand. Not the mental, you dealing with the men. That's MEN means a whole bunch of men. I mean, them man. You got a whole bunch, just a man. All you need is a man. All you need is a land. I don't need a whole bunch of niggas around me teaching me and telling me nothing. Okay, I'm gonna listen.
I'm trying to see where you're going because I'm out. My job is to get my people out.
All right, job is for a job.
That's the point of being a shepherd. A shepherd get rid of the wolves that's unaliving the sheep, and then it also get the sheep to green pastures. So it also opened up doors for the sheep. So that's what I'm focused on: opening up doors and removing the wolves that's destroying the sheep. That's my job, But like I said, I'm not leaning on the government to come.
Right, because I heard two messages. You were saying the government is needed, and I said no. You don't need no government. You need what's up?
We are creating our own government.
Right. So okay. So now all right. The Garden of Eden means balance, right? The Garden of Balance. The judge will balance it out. And so when they say the judge is going. The Garden of Balance, so the judge is going to say who's going to win and who's going to lose.
Who's the judge? Who's the judge?
Well, you got two eyeballs on the east side of your face, right? You got a left eye and a right eye. So your nose, didn't Adam get the breath of life breathed into his nostrils? So when you ain't got the breath of life in your nostrils and he ain't breathed in you yet, so now we get ready to get off into a whole nother medicinal property. I wanted to stop off at the government, please, because I don't want to go all over the place. Like I tell my wife, my strife. When I tell her, I said, if you know somebody wiser than me, then prove it. Bring them over here. I said, your father was a dead man and your mama's a dead woman. I ain't never seen no life come out between your mother gates. All she birthed was niggas. Now, I'm going to tell you, prove it. You got to prove it to me. You got to prove it to me. And proving it, I don't have to go to nobody, or you go to not a house, you go to the temple. Temple dealing with the temperature dealing with the degrees on how you have it on the inside.
Hey, bro.
Your organs, your kidneys, your liver, your pancreas. All right, I'm listening.
The tree of knowledge of good and evil, we don't eat from that tree. We have eaten from the tree of life.
So when somebody says that they eat from the tree of life, they have to prove it. So if I come to your land, and listen, if I come to your land and you invite me, my nobleness, my highness, to your land, I better not see. I better see a ladder set up in the trees. I bet you better be able to let me see the tree of life. You better let me eat off of it, because if I come to your land, you got to show me love and hospitality, right? You got to show me hospitality. You can't tell me you can eat off that tree of life and then I don't eat off of it, and my son don't eat off of it, and my people. You can't don't hurt me like that and have me come out there and bring my caravan. Because I know all about Raz McConnell and all of them and what they did to their children and how they light went out.
Hey, bro.
And Kush. In the Gaihan. I know how they don't drink the waters of the Gaihan.
Okay, bro. Okay. Well, brother, man, like I said, we appreciate you coming up, bro. We do have a solution. Again, we are starting the government for all people.
But be careful that the solution ain't the prostitution, because that's the Constitution and that's the institution of the prostituting, where people gonna sell they sales. He said, have I told you not to eat from that? You ate from that tree. Tree means dealing with the leaf on the tree. You FaceTime me right now, I'll show you where I'm at. I ain't never paid taxes, never been in a mortgage. Okay? So you got anything you do, you gotta prove it. You gotta prove it to your children. See, my work, and I'll get off because I know I can discern the time. You prove it to your children. You, whatever child you have, that's who you prove it to. You don't prove it to a whole bunch of heathens, because you got to remember, you was talking about only few are chosen. Who you think the few is? The few is your children. How many children you have?
Hey,
Them the ones that them the Jews. Your children are your
hey,
Jews.
become a child. So you can enter. Become
Huh?
like a child. Become like a child. So you can enter the kingdom of heaven. So it's telling you it's adults. It's not so, but a child is just somebody that's pure. So all it's saying
Well, when you if you
the kingdom of heaven.
so in the meantime in the meantime, oh, my legs, and then in the heaven they will be gates. Then they will be pure. My legs will be pure. And then we go. Then my elbow. What about my elbows?
Hey, bro, we heard no parables. We appreciate you, brother, man. Peace, peace.
Okay. All right. Peace, player. 100.
A religious debater. Children grow up to be adults. That's why I say don't become like an adult. Become like a child. Be like a child. It's showing you the examples and the characteristics. Be ready to receive. All children are ready to receive, and once they receive it, they do. They must be gone. First Timothy going once. No, he gone. No, I look like So y'all, like I say, man, like I say, y'all, I don't know how y'all don't know our solution, and I know everybody don't get to watch our lives, being all the time, so people just be passing through, but at the same time, y'all, you have to understand that we're up here with a solution, and the thing about it is, no organization has brought us a solution. Not one organization has brought us a solution. And the people who bring a solution, what do? Get them out of here. And like I said, when it comes to government talk, when it comes to order, we don't talk about this enough. We can't talk about it enough because don't nobody want to get in order. Everybody want to debate. Everybody got something to say. Like, like I said, a lot of people know that the hidden unrighteousness that's in the earth. It's not righteous to project your thoughts if you know your thoughts are not the supreme thought. You in a room full of people, you be like, man, I'm going to keep my shit to myself. I ain't going to say them like no fool. But you would stand up. Nah, it's cool to think. You can think what you want. That's free will. I don't go about it controlling your thoughts, but to project your thoughts against the truth. And you turn around and say, well, I don't know the whole truth, but I know this. Like, you shouldn't be fighting if you don't have the whole truth. You cannot. That's why, and this is why the battle is not yours. This is why these things said, like, the battle is not yours. It's the Lord, because you're going to stand up. I'm fighting the lies, but you lying. That's why I say the devil don't cast out himself. The lie don't remove the lie. Only the whole truth and nothing but the truth removes the lie. That's why we got to say, God come help. What it says? The whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. God ain't gonna come back and fight the devil with half of the truth. He ran out of ammo, so he gotta wait till you get the rest of it. Come on, y'all. And see, this is what it means. Everybody's standing up for God without the whole truth. That's why the devil ain't been cast out. That's why more confusion is in the earth. There's no clarity. You underwater, so you can't breathe. So these are the basic principles we had. Like I said, we weren't taught this, so we've been taught to go out and do what? Tell more lies. And everybody say Christ is the truth, the way, and the light. And you got the truth, the way, and the light because you had a dream. That's why you got the truth, the way, and the light, because you had a dream. No, y'all, you cannot. You have to conquer the lie with the whole truth. You have to. And nobody is doing that. If they was, then they'll be who? Christ. That's Christ's job, to bring the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You know how many people teaching us without the truth? So the devil is the father of lies. If I'm telling lies, then who is my father? The devil. The devil is my father. I'm lying. Because the Bible, get that verse where it say the God of truth. The Bible talk about the God of truth. Let's not get it twisted. That's not, and it told the devil was going to be like God. The devil was going to exalt himself. The devil was going to sit in a seat that wasn't his. And he was going to sit in a high seat. Just as the scribes, Pharisees sat in Moses' seat. But they what? They wasn't freeing the people like Moses. They wasn't destroying the musicians like Moses. Did Moses teach the people, or did Moses what? Moses destroyed the musicians to free the people, and he gave the people instructions. I'm going to say it one more time. Moses defeated the musicians, and then Moses gave the instructions. Oh, teachings are instructions. No, teachings are not instructions. You instruct your child, but then you send your child to school to teachers. Parents instruct their child, which you should at the same time. Like you don't teach your child carpentry. You instruct your child. You give them instructions. They might go get taught carpentry from somebody else. So you can't mix teaching with instructions. It's two different things.
So it's Isaiah 65:16. That he who blessed himself in the earth shall bless himself in the God of truth.
Hold up. The God of who?
The God of truth.
What is the God of truth? And not what? Because the Bible talk about the father of lies.
That he who blessed himself in the earth shall be blessed himself in the God of truth. And he that sweareth in the earth shall swear by the God of truth, because the former troubles are forgotten, and because they are hid from mine eyes.
So you see how the God of truth, and not what? So with God is no lie. I don't know how much I can stress this. With the God is no lie. Because the chart of truth will be manifesting and giving instructions on what is being done. That's why there's no more prophets. We're not seeing a vision, y'all. We're not on here trying to tell you what we're dreaming. We on here tell you what we are doing in the name of God. We doing it. We're not just, oh, well, let me tell you what Jesus is going to do when he come back, and listen to me. But I'm going to tell you what Jesus is going to do when he come back. See, Jesus is the God of truth. Jesus is God. And you know, he did all this for me 2,000 years ago. He died on the cross. That's who we, like, wake up, y'all. Wake up, man. No, forget waking up. Get out the bed. Get out your bed. The covers is not comfortable. The mattress is old. Everybody laid on it. Matter of fact, the mattress full of bed bugs. That's why you all spotted up. You're not white. You all spotted up. Because all them bed bugs just bit you all up. Get out the bed. Get out the lies. This is what we have to do. And like I said, how could you be going after people who are actually doing something? Like I said, if that's not a beast, if we're not talking to the mark of the beast, I don't know what we're talking to. And I saved this video where this man was getting a bobcat from a trap. I said, I'm going to do a video about it. He had to take a crate and put it over the bobcat and remove the bear trap. Because if he wouldn't have took that crate, that box, and put it over the bobcat would have tore him up. The bobcat would have crucified him. And all the man was trying to do was remove the bear trap so the bobcat could run free. This is why I don't accept the mark of the beast. Our people wild now. Wild donkeys. Can't tame y'all. Because these are people who are actually trying to do something for you. And you want to just cut them up, bite them, scratch them. Not realizing the people that's trapping you. The ones you don't say nothing to. You don't put no dirt on their name. You don't say nothing about them. But you're against the one that's coming to help you. Like I say, and see, this is the symbolism of the crucifixion that was going to bring healing. That's why every hospital got what? A snake on a pole, or a snake wrapped around a cross. Where it is? Oh, down back? Nah, not yet. Oh. So you see what I'm saying? So that's what that means. That's the symbolism of the healing of the nations. So how it was foretold how the nation was going to heal? By the one who they crucified. The same one they crucified was going to also bring healing. These are the symbolism. These are the parables that's written in the scriptures. But if we don't have the understanding and the secret meaning, we don't know the secret meaning behind the snake and the pole, but the Bible tells you, just as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, so must what? The Son of Man be lifted up. So Moses' symbolism was about who? The Son of Man being lifted up. The one that was bringing healing to the nations. And they what? Put him on the cross. They left him hanging. You know, I would say, man, you going to leave me hanging? So, you know, the Bible said they put Christ on the tree. Why they hung Christ from a tree? They left him hanging. They ain't literally put a rope on Christ in 2,000 years ago with what? Guns and swords? We had guns and swords. We would have fought to the end. So, like I said, y'all, we got to understand, man, like, it's just, you know, and everybody has left Christ hanging. Y'all see it. There's no way I can lay my head. I can't go in no church and talk to no pastor. I can't walk up to the camp leaders and talk to them. I can't talk to them. I've been to the Muslim. Can't talk to them. Why I can't talk to nobody? Everybody can talk to me, but I can't go talk to none of the leaders. I'm open to talk to anybody, but nobody's open to talk to me. Something wrong, right? Something wrong. So guess what? They got to let me in. What's going on?
What's going on? So, what would be the point of Jesus telling Matthew to write down everything he told him during his sermons when preaching to the others? Why write it down?
Can you get that scripture?
Huh?
Can you get that scripture?
What scripture?
Well, Jesus told Matthew to write everything down.
And Matthew.
No, give me the scripture where Jesus said write everything down.
We waiting on you. Oh,
You left?
No, he's gonna look for it.
So he's looking for a scripture where Jesus told Matthew to write everything down. Which you got to understand, Christ speaks. Why you think we following Christ but don't got no book from Christ? But the book supposed to help us follow Christ. If that ain't the most backwards, like I never said I follow Christ. Like I just couldn't, I couldn't say that. I couldn't. How? Now I can believe in Christ, but how can I follow Christ? I just couldn't say that. It was how could I? How could I? How could I? Like how could I? I'm waiting on him. Yeah. So what the scripture, brother, man? It's a long time. Yeah,
Matthew 9. Put it in the text. You can see it in the comments.
9 and 9 to this one right there. Oh,
oh my goodness.
I don't know where you put that in.
I can use it. Matthew 9 and what?
I think it's 9 to 16 he put.
Matthew chapter 9, right?
Yeah,
9 and 16?
9 to 13.
9, 13. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy. That's not it, bro. You on mute. You say you put it in the comment?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Man.
I don't see that. I don't see that, bro. I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Matthew 9, and he saw a tax collector. And Jesus saw a tax collector. That's what Matthew was a tax collector.
So is a tax collector the same as writing down every word that Jesus says?
Jesus saw a tax collector and told, if you read the verse, it'll tell you.
Which verse?
You read the verse.
Watch.
Read the verse. You can't read it. You can't read it online. You ain't got a Bible?
He saw Matthew. He saw a tax collector and he told him to follow him. And he said, "Follow me." And he got up and followed him.
What verse are you reading, brother?
You read 9 and 9.
I already showed you.
Okay, hold up right quick. You sitting up here lying and playing.
We went to the scripture.
Lying and playing. I ain't no scripture in the New Testament where Christ told nobody to write nothing.
Hey, YahJew. Hey, YahJew.
What's up?
Hey.
What's up?
All right, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. We've had plenty of different conversations, and I still don't understand, right, why you think that you're Jesus Christ. I'll never understand it, because we know Jesus was born back then.
Bro. For time purposes, just tell me what's on your mind, bro. You don't have to beat around the bush. I already know that, of course. So what? Okay. What is your question? Just get to your question.
Okay, I'll get to the question. My question is, why do you continue after I've told you that you're not Jesus Christ? I'm just a little confused.
Nah, y'all damn man. Why after? Who is you? John B? You need to go write some more songs. So like I say, y'all, man, we gotta understand right now, y'all. These are people that's trying to stop us from even starting the government. It's just that's crazy. Like, you want to stay under this government? You want to spend the oppressor's money? That's what you rather do. Because if you want to believe in Jesus, you can still believe in Jesus when we start the government. But guess what you're gonna do? You ain't gonna have too many people following you. Because Christ gonna create the real Christ gonna create the government. But guess what? Even after I create the government, even though I'm the real Christ, you still have the free will to believe in Jesus. Nobody gonna stop you. That's the crazy thing. Nobody's gonna stop you from believing in Jesus. But guess what? You're not gonna be able to do. You're not gonna be able to go to church to learn about it, and you're not gonna be able to teach about Jesus. But you still can believe in Jesus, even in the new kingdom. You still have that free will. You're just not gonna be able to teach about it. And you're not going to be able to go to church to learn about it. But you still have the free will to think about it. But to stop a people right now who need a government and trying to stop them from starting the government, and all you worry about is Christ, who you never met, never talked to, that's crazy. Man, that's to fight for someone that's a physical being and you never seen them. All you did was read. See, It's cool to believe. I'm talking about the actions. Like, you actually fighting for this man. You won't even fight for your freedom. Christ don't even need you to fight for him. What he told Peter? Chill out, Peter. I don't need you to swing no sword. I don't need you to cut no man ear off. Chill out. But you fighting for Christ. You're not even fighting for the liberation of the people. You fighting against someone who's trying to liberate the people. And we don't understand how wicked we is. Y'all, we wicked. We wicked, y'all. We wicked, man. We. Like I said, y'all, this is the healing of the nations, though, man. So we don't trip, y'all. We gonna do our job. Like I say, y'all, we gonna be out on the street. So y'all stay tuned. We'll crank the live back up. Maybe about another hour, 2 hours, we're gonna crank it back up. Like I said, we're gonna be in the street talking with our people, y'all. Like I say, just spreading the gospel as it's spreading, as y'all see it spreading. Many people trying to stop it, but guess what? It's on fire. And your water can't put it out. Your water down information, it can't put this fire out, y'all. Hey, look, it cannot put this fire out. Your watered down information cannot put the fire of God out. So what? It's burning. It's burning. And you see everybody, you know how the house on fire and don't nobody want their belongings to burn up. And they there with the hose pipe, they just spraying water on there. And that motherfucker instead of what? Blazing. The more water you spray, shit, the hotter it get. All your belongings is being burnt up right now. All them lies you thought belonged to you, it's on fire right now. You can't stop it. You can't stop it. It's impossible. It's impossible. It's like trying to stop an avalanche from coming down the hill that got a slope like it's damn near almost straight down. You can't get in front there. You just gotta let it roll. You gotta wait till it stops. You know, so you're gonna have to wait till the fire stop burning. And then when it stop burning, no lives will be left. And that's why the fire of God, or if you're looking for Elijah, he's here. And you're going to do what? The same thing, which reject him. So with that being said, y'all, as always, we hope the Father has circumcised y'all hearts and ears for the message. You got anything you want to close out with?
Peace, y'all.
We out. Catch us in about an hour or two.